a lot of people that in that house are doing it. As you know, everybody has to stay inside nearly. A lot of people are staying inside because obviously taking precautions. So domestic violence, like it could happen to a woman or a man. Um, so first of all, I'm just saying to people straight away, don't suffer alone. That's one thing you don't have to do. And I would talk to somebody, talk to your friends, talk to your family. Don't say nothing. That's as simple as that. Because it's so I used the example in my Q&A the other day. If you keep boiling things up, say somebody, if you cook dinner, say an example, a woman cooks dinner for her husband, and he just fires her at her, and he keeps doing that over time, it's all going to boil up. It's going to boil up in your system if you don't let it out and if you don't talk about it. That leads to violence. Leads to casualties. In other words, like a good example, Coronation Street at the moment. I don't know if people watch Coronation Street. I was watching it recently just for the example, because people were talking about domestic violence. Was showing about Jeff and I can't think of the woman's name, but I was just watching it just to show. They just imagine it what's happening in people's houses behind closed doors, because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. And you can see it. You can see the abuse over time. Like eventually, the human mind can't deal with abuse all the time. Like we're humans. If somebody keeps shouting at us for 3 or 4 months about different things, eventually we're going to lose a core. We're going to lose the plot. In other words, and that's understandable. If somebody's abusing you, you have a right to. First of all, you have a right to tell somebody that my husband's not treating me best, or my girlfriend's not treating me, or boyfriend, whatever. But it's very difficult. It's the same with mental health issues. I find it the same because it's very different to say. The first step is to talk about it, to tell somebody. It's very difficult to go up to somebody and say, I'm not feeling okay, or I'm having trouble with my marriage, or my boyfriend or girlfriend, such and such. It's very difficult. Like some people find it easy, so fair play to them. But a lot of the general public do find it very hard, and it's very hard to admit. Like I'm thinking of a few cases now I remember hearing of. Thankfully, I never had anybody ever come in to me and talk about domestic violence. Once there was, I was involved in the case where there was a child being abused. But thankfully, that got sorted out. But I wasn't too involved in it, and I might as well say that straight. But I touch on that in a second. But yeah, I'm just saying to people straight away. Tell your friend, tell your family, don't suffer alone. And simple as that. Don't suffer alone. Same with mental health issues. Don't suffer alone. Talk about it. Talk to your friend. Talk to your family. But don't let these people off it. And that's simple as that. You deserve a lot more respect than say somebody treating you like a dog's dinner. Simple as that. You deserve a lot more respect, and you have to look for your respect. Like it's that example. A wife did cook a dinner for her husband, and the husband throwing it back at her and calling all the names of the day. Or whatever, dictating his girlfriend or his wife's clothes, or what she wears and what she does, and her money, taking her money and everything, and just giving us dog money, in other words. That would that'd be something like abuse. But what am I trying to talk about now here? I'm trying to think of something else. A good example in my head about something, but it's gone out of my head now. But I'm just saying to people, contact your local guards if you do feel for somebody. If you know somebody, especially if you know somebody that's experiencing domestic violence, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and talk to the local authorities or the guards, because it's better that we know about it. It's better that we know about it so we can deal with it. And it is difficult. People that are abused don't like to admit, and especially if they love the person, they don't want to admit. And some people can just be, angry, and some people can just be pure evil, and just what they dictate, just what they want in people's lives. And some people are like that. Unfortunately, there's people in society like that. And then people obviously, don't deserve them people who they treat badly. And then when they lose them, they know themselves that they can't abuse anybody else then. But the first thing is to talk about it. So second of all, I was saying about child abuse. Unfortunately, it does happen. And God Almighty, it does happen in this country. And TUSLA doesn't do anything about it, but TUSLA's useless anyway. Like I was talking about this child abuse case, I wasn't too involved, and I might just say that's right. I wasn't too involved, but I was, was county councillors were getting involved, and obviously, I was kind of, hearing about it, but I didn't have much. Like it's better they deal with it because they have a lot more power than I would have, to enforce the law, enforce different things, so I was kind of in the middle. listening to everything, listen to back and forth and everything like that. And these parents just, didn't solve that for kid, and as simple as that. We're not feeding it, like making them walk and then feeding them. And then feed them not even food, more or less scraps of nothing. Walking them and then just feeding, like that's abuse. That's honestly abuse. Like you wouldn't treat a slave like that. When I'm saying to people, especially if it's in a child situation, I wouldn't advise you to go to Tusla. I advise you to go straight away to the guards or go straight away to a politician or a local county council. I know the politicians won't do much, but maybe a lot of people in the local authorities would do a lot. Especially if you know the right person to go to. Somebody has a family. Some county council has a family. They generally will listen, because the person, the county councillor I'm talking about, one of the county councillors, had a family, was a family man, and he knew, how precious children are. And, he was thinking of his own family, he was thinking of his own kids, and how he would despise anybody for doing that. And that's why he went to the end of the earth to try and convict them. And they paid dearly for it. They paid very dearly for them two people. Rightly so, the law was enforced, and, they suffered. They suffered because of it. And thankfully, as well, now the kids are well, which is a happy end. And unfortunately, it isn't a happy end. It's like, as we speak now, across Ireland, 300, 400, 500, maybe 600 children are being neglected like that. And I'm saying to people, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and talk, or even tell your local authorities, don't be afraid. But I wouldn't go to Tusla. I might as well say that straight. Don't really trust Tusla. The time they were involved in that case, it was slimy, kind of. And I felt very slimy about it. And a lot of county councillors felt the same, that they just didn't really care much about it. We were more interested than they were. But yeah, maybe it's just because they have a lot on the plate or something like that. I don't know. But I'm not too fond of them, so I might as well say straight. But yeah, there is cases like that happening. And I'm saying to people, talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk, especially if it's involving a child. Please, please pick up the phone, talk about it. Tell your friend, tell your family. But the first step, and the same as everything, you have to talk about it. And that's very, very difficult. I know it's easy to say, but it's extremely difficult. Believe me, it's extremely difficult to talk and say, look, my husband, who I had for 2 years, has been abusing me for 2 years. Because effectively, if you don't talk about it over time, as we see in Coronation Street, if you watch the episodes of it, what I'm talking about, you will see the build-up. And I think they've done it very well, and I commend the actors for it. The build-up, because the woman, I can't think of her name, but her husband's name was Jeff. But Jeff, you can see the build-up. He was abusing her. You can see how it was affecting her, and how it was taking her down. And eventually you're going to bust, and you're going to act out, or injure the person. So it's always good to talk to your friends, tell your family. So I'm just saying to people, hopefully it will encourage people to speak out. Please do speak out. I can't emphasize that enough. Domestic violence, nobody should ever put up with that. So please, if you know anybody, and if you think it's in the best interest, please tell somebody. Tell the local towers, tell the guards. Especially if it's a child. Please, I'm begging you to tell the local authorities, or to tell anybody that will listen. To even tell myself if you want. Because I make sure I make them listen. Don't worry about that. I shout and I war until they listen. You don't know how bad I get when if it's a very, very serious thing like that. You don't know how much I will shout and I will war until I get every person in the country to listen to me. Because that's the type of person. If somebody really just treats somebody like that, I'm going to shout and war, and I won't stop until either they kill me or either there's something done about it. And I might as well say it straight, and that's the type of person I would be. But at the end of the day, these people who abuse people are cowards. Because when people stand up to them, they usually back down and run away. So please do pick up the phone and talk about it. Thank you, and be safe, and take care, and bye.